Okay, we're good to start.
Okay, I'll call this meeting to order at 10:02 a.m. on Friday, February the 7th. I'll start by reading the land acknowledgement. The city of Thorold is situated on treaty land. This land is steeped in the rich history of the First Nations, such as the Haudenosaunee, the Haudenosaunee, and the Anishinaabe, including the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. There are many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people from across Turtle Island that live and work in Niagara today. I'll go on to the next item, number 3, which is the declaration of interest. Does anyone want to make any declaration of interest? Seeing none, I'll move on to number 4, the adoption of today's agenda. Can I get a mover and a seconder to adopt the agenda? Councillor Longo, and can I have a seconder? Ratna, was that a nod? Yeah, okay, thank you. I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed?
In favor.
Okay. Then the adoption of today's agenda is passed. Sorry, Ratna, did you have a question or?
Oh, no, I'm good.
You're good? Okay. Move on to number 5, the adoption of the minutes from November 1st, our last meeting. Can I get a mover and a seconder to adopt those minutes that were part of the package? Thank you, Councillor Longo. Can I get a seconder? I think Mark. Thank you, Mark. Okay,
Mark,
the adoption of the minutes from...
Mark cannot vote on anything, so we need different second.
Can I get, I think Ratna also seconded the minutes from last meeting. So the adoption of the minutes from November 1st is passed. Thanks for joining, Amber.
Did we vote on it? I'm sorry, I missed.
No, I did not. Sorry.
Okay,
Thanks,
sorry.
Justin. I'll call the question. All those in favor? Any opposed? I'm seeing none. So now the adoption of the minutes from November 1st is passed. Thanks, Justin. Keep me in line.
Thank you.
I'll go into number 6, which is the correspondence. Unfortunately, we need to announce again that the committee's latest staff liaison, Janelle Duffus, has left the city. And with that, I'll ask Justin and perhaps Mark if you have any updates in regards to filling this position for the liaison.
Oh, sorry. Oh, there we go. At this time, we won't be having anyone right now, as planning department needs to get some more staff for that. So it'll be we'll update when that happens.
Okay. Yeah, it's unfortunate. All right, thank you. Next item of correspondence is the Energy Conservation and Demand Management Plan, which again was part of the agenda package. At the meeting on November 12th, 2024, Council passed Report PWCS 68-2024 regarding the plan, which is for the years 2024 to 2029. I'll just make a few comments on it. I understand that the purpose is, as it says in the plan, is to seek Council's approval of the recommendations contained in the report and to fund the study cost from the Municipal Building and Land Reserve. And the plan sets out a 5-year roadmap and includes initiatives to implement cost recovery and environmental benefits in the form of energy and emission reductions. So that said, personally, I'm somewhat disappointed that this committee did not have any input towards the plan. I do understand that the planning organization in the city of Thorold is extremely stressed, and this might be seen as a waste of their time. However, I am disappointed. That said, it appears, in my opinion, to be a very sound plan. For example, I think it's great to see that the city is looking at retrofitting City Hall's aging heating and cooling systems with high efficiency heat pumps when the time is right. So I do see it as a good plan. Um, that said, perhaps this committee could get more involved moving forward. Perhaps with, again, and I quote, any new initiatives that will be pursued to chart a sustainable and trans transformative transformative path forward, starting with a plan for net zero. That's basically what our mandate is of this committee. So I believe that we should get tied into that somehow, and I'm not sure how we do that. So, Justin, I'm not sure if I leave it with you or if I ask Mark. What's the procedure?
Well, this was a public works report, and Mark is from there, so he can
Okay.
perhaps take that if he wants to comment, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, having just joined in November, I wasn't privy to this committee, but certainly anything that we're working on moving forward, I'll be sure that you're included in that, Mark.
I
Thanks for
appreciate
making it.
that. And just to
Yeah.
give a few other comments, just to, give some ideas as to how we can get engaged going forward. It'd be great for us to understand where the biggest corporate greenhouse gas emissions are coming from. I went through the report page by page and I saw some summaries, but it didn't really clarify where most of the, gas is being burned, for example. So if we knew that, then we'd be able to help provide some ideas for emission reductions. I'm also wondering, looking at the plan, like I mentioned, I see City Hall looking at some heat pumps, but overall, I don't know if the city is looking at any district energy, which is really a great way to move forward with affordable energy, or ground source heat pumps, essentially, as well as just air source heat pumps, which is, I think, what they're talking about for City Hall. I'm also interested in understanding a little bit more as to the solar on, I believe there's 4 buildings in the city that have solar on it that's generating revenue. I think that's an opportunity for increased operations reduction costs if we can look at that, and not just rooftops, but also on parking. That's what's happening elsewhere in the world to really save costs, is looking at solar on rooftops and on parking. Which provides a second benefit of providing shade for the cars that are underneath it. So it's a win-win. Also curious as to what's going on with the City Hall solar array. It doesn't seem to be working. So looking at the reports, there's no outputs. So something strange there. I'm assuming that's being investigated. But also, it'd be great for this committee to understand some of the other opportunities, again, to reduce the OpEx costs of the city by using things like solar, and perhaps even getting involved in some sort of a community co-op program, which again could help turn capital costs into operating costs over many years. So that's my point. There are some ideas that we can bring forward. And can you still hear me? My picture dropped
We
out,
hear
but
you,
that's okay.
just don't see you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm having problems with this computer with Zoom. So, okay, as long as you can still hear me. All right. So, any other comments? That's my 2 cents worth. Any other comments or questions regarding the energy conservation and demand management plan? Not seeing any. Okay. All right, let's move on to correspondence from the NPCA regarding their call for committee representatives for their public advisory committee. As we know, Natalie couldn't join us today. However, she provided a brief description for this meeting. I have modified it slightly, but the NPCA's Public Advisory Committee, also known as PAC, is a dedicated group of citizen representatives who bring collaborative, sector-based perspectives to guide specific projects, programs, and other conservation matters as determined by the NPCA. For nearly a decade, PAC members have played an invaluable role in shaping the NPCA's work, contributing meaningful input to support conservation across the watershed. Now, that said, I believe that the recruitment window has already closed, so this is just an FYI, and that's one of the challenges, Justin, as we've moved this meeting to every 2 months, we're going to be missing the opportunity on some of these things.
Just one
Um,
comment. Sorry, just one comment to add is I did receive this not in December. I received it maybe a week or so ago. So it was kind of late to us on this end.
Fair enough. Thanks. Okay, with that, we'll move into committee business. First item is 7.1, the working group on Earth Day. So from our last meeting back in November, from this committee's perspective, Zach has kindly stepped up to lead our contribution towards the Earth Day discussions. However, right now I believe the status and the next steps remain with the city. Unfortunately, I guess we could have asked Jacob to attend, but Mark, can you provide an update on that as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Jacob is working feverishly to make preparations for Earth Day. I know he's already been in contact with a number of the groups that were involved last year. He's also including some additional groups and trying to create some additional synergy with other groups such as the Knights of Columbus to partake in the Earth Day experience at the arena. I believe a tree planting will also be included. So yeah, I wish I could provide more of an update, but I do want to say Jacob is working feverishly to have everything in order for that. And I believe at the next meeting, I'll be able to provide additional details as to some of new components that he's looking at adding to Earth Day as well.
If you could help us get Zach tied into those conversations, that would be
Absolutely.
appreciated.
Yep.
Justin, go ahead.
Yeah, there's two items. It was Ratna and Leslie who were on the Earth Day working group, not Zach. And it is April 26th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. At the Thorold Arena is when the event. Some more information was just recently added to the website 2 or 3 days ago about the event. Calling for vendors basically is what it was, and calling for speakers. So that's posted on our website right now is where things are at.
So what is the date again?
April 26th, and the event runs from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Okay. Just a comment. I thought we had also included Zach, or maybe I did that offline asking, because I had asked for somebody to lead the working group. I may have done that offline, but Zach had volunteered to do that. But I thought we had him in the last meeting also joining the group,
Right,
the working group.
that's correct.
Okay, maybe I missed that then.
Councillor Longo?
Thank you, Chair. I know last year when we held this event, it was held at the Thorold Arena, and there was discussion after the event to see what the success was. And I think we all agreed it was less than what we'd like to see. I had mentioned even before last year's event that we should look at potentially trying to arrange this and have this held at the Canada Games Center with maybe some coordination with City of St. Catharines, Region of Niagara, to make it more of a an event that could draw more people to it. And I really thought that we were going to head in that direction this year. I'm not sure when it was decided that again we would have it at the Thorold Arena. And again, if that's the way we're going to go, that's fine. But I really think we need to utilize the best facilities we have available to us. And I think we all agreed last year this wasn't the best one.
Mark, did you want to comment on that?
Absolutely, through the chair. My understanding is that Jacob did make attempts to reach out to the Summer Games Center. They may already have something planned in that space, so that's why he shifted back to the arena this year. But I do know that he'll be communicating with the Canada Games Center as well for future events. But again, he is working quite tirelessly to find those synergies, so that we hope that this year's event will be much bigger. He had an opportunity to meet with the BIA as well as the libraries. to try to draw them into the event as well. So I do feel that we're moving in the right direction, but I appreciate that perhaps next year we can try to coordinate with the Canada Games Center earlier so that there is that additional synergy there.
Yeah, and I think Amber added some comments in the chat about the challenges scheduling with them. So where is the venue this year planned for again?
Through your chair, at the Doherty Arena.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Councillor O'Hare?
Thank you, Chair. I just want to respond to Councillor Longo's inquiry and just say it is our goal to be at the Canada Games Centre. The Community Events Group tried reaching out to not only the Canada Games facility, but to St. Catharines, but it didn't work with combining it with St. Catharines this year. So our goal is to start already working towards next year to tie it in with the city of St. Catharines and any other city within Niagara who would like to join us at the Canada Games facility. Because we all agree with Councillor Longo's suggestion that we utilize the building and host a bigger event there. And as we heard, there was a little bit of a problem with dates and times. So our goal is eventually to be at the Canada Games Park. Hopefully it will be next year. Hopefully it will be in combination with other cities. In the meantime, we are back at the arena here in Toronto, and we are reaching out to more vendors. And I know we didn't have a great turnout last year, but it was our kickoff event. So we're hoping to grow the event this year. I'm really staying positive and hope to see more vendors and a few more activities as well. So that's where we are.
All right. Thanks, Councillor O'Hare. Amber?
Thanks, Mark. Just a comment for Canada Games Park. We've booked or tried to book events there in the past. So we just, based on my experience, know that they don't release or will be able to approve dates until September. So just from a timeline planning perspective, if you just want to mark that kind of in your calendars for next year, that's when the hockey teams and the sports teams at Brock that have kind of first right of refusal for that space get their schedules set and everything. So after September, they are able to accommodate the community events or rental bookings for the larger gyms at that location.
Okay, thanks. Makes sense. Mark, go ahead.
Thank you, through you, Mr. Chair. I also wanted to point out one of the things we've been talking about, Jacob and I don't believe this has been brought to the committee yet, but is looking at Earth Day, but also kind of a larger the larger topic. Earth Day is part of Earth Week, where we have Arbor Day, we have Earth Day, but also in March we have Earth Hour. So what I've put to Jacob is really a challenge to look at all of these events and finding a way that we can promote that more heavily within our community, not only to get more people out, but to raise awareness. Earth Hour is simply something that we could post online, but there is an opportunity there to engage the community and perhaps have people recognize that we're doing our best to reduce our carbon footprint. So that's just a general statement that Jacob is kind of looking at a number of different opportunities to continue to grow not just Earth Day but Earth Week as well.
No, that's great. Great to hear. Thanks. Zach, did you have any other questions or comments regarding the Earth Day activities? And it's unfortunate you just joined late in the year and it looks like haven't been able to really connect. So that's why I'm asking you if you have, given the opportunity here, if you want to ask any more questions of the folks here.
Yeah, well, basically we have discussed most of the questions and that I had. The date is clear, things are clear. I just want to get connected with Jacob, which I tried in a couple of times in the past. I didn't hear anything from Jacob. I would like to have a planner or a schedule for the Earth Week or the Earth Day. That'll be great.
And okay, thanks, Zach. I believe Mark is taking a note of that. Thanks, Mark. Justin, go ahead.
I just want to clarify that Yeah, looking through the minutes, the only members are Ratana and Leslie for the Earth Day Working Group.
Okay, so then what is the process here that can we add
Yep.
Zach? Okay.
Sure, we can do that right now, unless there's any other discussion.
No, I think we're good to move on that. What do we have to do?
Just a mover and seconder to add Zach to the working group.
Okay, I see Joe as the mover, and if I could get a seconder, or can I second it? Or Councillor O'Hare did. Okay,
Okay.
perfect.
And then just a vote.
And all in favor? My hand is up. Any opposed? Nope. Okay, so that would be carried. Thank you, Justin. Are there any other comments or questions regarding Earth Day before I move on? Not seeing any. We'll move to 7.1.2, which is the committee's long-term goals. This working group, I think, should remain on hold as we focus on the Greening Thorold initiative. That's really where we can make have some input and make some contribution, as well as I mentioned earlier about the energy plan would also be another area where we could contribute. So this one remains on hold unless there's any other comments or questions on this from other folks here. Seeing none, we'll move to 7.1.3, which is the Greening Thorold initiative. So I can provide an update on that. We have held 2 working group meetings to date. We have come up with a list of sub-projects essentially that we want to focus on. And we have recently, or in the last meeting, we reprioritized that list of sub-projects so that it flows in a more logical manner. So number 1 would be to work on our approved tree and plant lists. Number 2 would be to review and update existing procedures for the planting and maintenance of trees and plants. And this includes both the city as well as citizens, okay? Number 3 would be, once we get those done, those are kind of the foundational activities. Then once those are done, then we can take a look again at the existing noxious weeds bylaw and update that to reflect what we have done in the approved tree and plant list. Same thing for the existing clean yards bylaw, as well as the property standards bylaw. We can take a look at those and update them, reflecting what we've done with the approved tree plant list. And then we can also look at creating a new boulevard planting bylaw, which is really where Leslie's initial focus was. We'll continue that for sure. And then finally, we can look and work with the city on some naturalization initiatives, looking at city-owned land where we can plant some more trees and shrubs and some other activities. Okay, so our first area of focus is focusing on the approved tree and plant list. And what we've done to date, hang on, let's go back. Where am I? So the working group has been working on developing this approved tree plant list. We've referenced existing documentation such as the Niagara Region Master Tree Planting List, although we have recognized that it has some deficiencies. We've also looked at the NPCA Native Plant Guide and looking forward to having them join us at our next working group meeting as we, again, have some input for them on that list. We've also looked at the Ontario Tree Atlas, which is a great overall document. And we've also looked at other Ontario municipalities, including Oakville, St. Catharines, Guelph, and Lincoln. We're really going to focus on the Lincoln documentation. I don't think it's live yet, but they have just gone through all of this process and they've come up with their own lists. So, let's not reinvent the wheel. They've just gone through this. Like the ink is still wet. So we'll take a look at what they've done, and then we need to decide. The next steps really is to finalize what we want to do in terms of going forward and how we work with the city. If we are a list, or if we're expected to provide guidance for what the city should be looking at. So we'll be talking about all those things at the next working group meeting, which is next Tuesday. And I believe Mark will have some updates for us at that time as well. So that's great. Looking forward to that. Are there any questions on that or other comments? Nope. Okay. With that, I'm going to move to the roundtable discussion. And before I go around the table, I will just also acknowledge, I'm not sure about other folks on the committee here, but I want to recognize that Leslie Daniels, who was a key member of this committee and on the Greening Thorold Initiative, has had some serious health issues, but is doing much better now. So I just wanted to report that she is back on her feet, so to speak, and trying to slowly get back into participating in more of the city's activities. With that, I'll just go around the table if anyone has anything else to add. Councillor O'Hare?
Nothing to add at this time, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. Mark, anything else?
I just wanted to share some news just to keep the committee updated. So we're currently working on some exciting, potentially exciting projects. One, or actually two, revolve around some grant applications that we're presently working on. One grant application is being submitted by the Friends of Laura Secord, and that would see some significant work done to the trailhead of the DQ House Heritage Park. But a second aspect of that would include significant restoration, natural habitat restoration of the area surrounding the parking lots and in and within the park. So we're seeking support to do that. The second grant application, which hasn't gone forward yet, is going to the Greenbelt. And again, there's a component of that project that would also include a significant natural habitat restoration component. So I just wanted to make you aware of that, as those are two exciting projects that we could potentially see in 25 or 26 that would include significant tree plantings. I've also had the opportunity to speak with Jeffrey Vercade of the NPCA. They have reached out to us about Trees for All, and we are looking to see how we can coordinate with them for the planting of additional trees. And then finally, I wanted to bring it to everybody's attention through Carrie Royer at the NPCA on February 24th, Monday, February 24th. For those interested, there is an in-person invasive species workshop. And if you're interested, I can share that email to Justin, and if the committee would like, we can share that with everyone as well, if you'd be interested in attending. I think those are all of my updates.
Thanks, Mark. That's excellent. That's great news. I look forward to seeing more details on all of those. For the NPCA, yes, that would be great if you could share that with the folks here. Give us the opportunity to attend that.
Thank you.
And the discussion you're talking about at DQ, that's separate from the building renovations that's going on there right now, or is that part of that?
So the first grant application was before council last month, and that revolves around the paving of the existing parking lot, but also adding a secondary parking lot on the south side of DQ Road. As we're experiencing a lot of people parking on the sides of the road, a lot of illegal dumping. So that would be in collaboration with the OPG. But again, that's through a grant application to the Trans-Canada Trails Association through Friends of Laura Secord. But again, part of that would be the paving of the pathway or of the parking lots, and the secondary piece would be a significant natural habitat restoration to make up for some of those areas that have been heavily damaged by the parking on the sides of the road, by the illegal dumping in the current space that is used as an access road for the OPG property. The second piece is through the Greenbelt Greenbelt Foundation. This one is, like I said, this just crossed my desk recently, so this is in its infancy. We're just investigating the opportunity for us to put forth even just an expression of interest. But again, part of this would look at the trailhead itself, so where the trail currently stops at the Heritage House, at the Kew Heritage House. Looking at doing some additional corrections there to make the site more accessible, but again, also having the component where there's additional tree planting and natural habitat restoration. So taking the work that was done in the development of the Peace Garden and kind of mirroring that on the opposite side of the road and around the kind of the driveway space of the house.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, so total separate activities from
Absolutely.
the from the work going on in the buildings there.
Correct.
I extensively myself, and yes, the parking lot there is congested on weekends, for sure. It would be nice if there was some consideration for a permeable surface to be put there, not asphalt, but that's like everything else has a price to it. I understand that. Okay, thanks again. Joe, anything for the round table?
Either not at the moment, although I wondered if we had another person that's going to be hosting the our greening meeting, since the staff member had been doing it, is no longer with the city.
Right. So Mark, it's been so long, but Mark attends those meetings, I believe, right? The Greening Thorold. So we'll have to look for Mark to take that until we have another liaison.
Okay. Yeah. I assume that. I'm just also assuming at the moment that the links for the meeting are still going to be the same links.
Oh, great question. I had meant to bring that up. I forgot. So that's a great question. So Mark, the next Tuesday's meeting was set up with Janelle's account.
I can work with Justin offline to make sure that that the links are all updated if necessary.
That's all I had. Thanks.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, Joe, for bringing that up. That's great. Thanks, Mark. Ratna, any questions, comments?
Thank you, Mark. I don't really have anything to add at this point.
Okay, thanks. Councillor Longo?
No, nothing from me, Chair. Thank you.
All righty. Amber?
No, nothing. Thank you.
Thanks. And Zach?
Nothing on my end, Chair.
Okay, thank you all. Justin, sorry. With that, the next meeting we have will be held on March 7th. Sorry, did I hear my own echo, or was someone?
Sorry, you're cutting off.
Okay, I'll cut my photo off again. There we go. You can hear me better. So the next meeting of this committee will be on March 7th. And as there are no further business to discuss, this meeting is adjourned at 10:35.
Thank you,
Justin?
Chair. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Bye,
Thank you
everyone.
all.
Bye.